Cutting across live now to the Judges' Conference, where Prime Minister Modi is going to be speaking in just a short while from now.
And now a formal welcome speech by Shri D.V. Sadananda Gowda, Honourable Minister for Law and Justice.
Now, this is the third and the final day of the Judges' Conference in Delhi. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will address a joint session of the Chief Ministers and the Chief Justices of High Courts in just a short while from now. The conference has been organized to discuss issues like judicial reforms, development of infrastructure, technology, enablement of courts and steps to ensure speedy trials. In fact, the conference is expected to come up with resolutions to be implemented by the judiciary and the central and the state governments. And you can see their visuals that are coming in live from Vigyan Bhavan, which is seeing the third and the final day of the Judges' Conference over the long weekend, and there was a controversy over that issue as well. But setting the controversy aside, Prime Minister Modi is there at the venue today. He will be inaugurating the final day, and this is the joint session of the Chief Ministers and the High Court Chief Justices. Prime Minister Modi arriving at the venue in Vigyan Bhavan. In just a short while from now, he'll be addressing the inaugural session there. Law and Justice Minister Sadananda Gowda will be delivering the welcome speech, while the Chief Justice of India, H.L. Dattu, will preside over the working sessions. In fact, what we expect is resolutions to be implemented by the judiciary and the central and state governments. They are going to dwell over important issues like judicial reforms, development of infrastructure, enhancement of technology in courts so that there can be speedy trials. Remember, the pendency of trials in courts across India is huge, and that is a major cause of concern for the judiciary in the country. So the three-day conference was to dwell upon these important issues of judicial reforms, development of infrastructure, and the use of technology in courts to enhance speedy trials. The conference is also expected to come up with resolutions that will be implemented by the judiciary and the state and the central governments. Prime Minister Modi will be addressing the third and the final day of the Judges' Conference in Delhi, and this is a joint session of the Chief Ministers and the Chief Justices of various high courts. In fact, the welcome speech will be given by the Law Minister Sadananda Gowda, and the Chief Justice of India will be presiding over the working sessions. Ashar Ahmad Khan is now joining us with more details. Ashar, it's an important conference really for the judges, because the pendency of cases in India is huge. But this again has been mired in controversy.
Well, absolutely. There are lots of important issues which needs to be discussed, basically about the pendency of cases, also about there are lots of posts which are vacant of judges. That is all there. But apart from that, a new controversy has been raging in the last couple of days. What we've seen is that since this is being done on an Easter weekend, there are lots of judges who have said, who've put in their reservations on record. In fact, one of the honorable judges have also written to the Prime Minister categorically stating that since this is an Easter weekend, he will not be able to attend. So yes, the entire conference has been mired in controversy, Maha.
Also, Ashar, the Prime Minister will be addressing the inaugural session. What are the important issues that will really come up on the final day, specifically as the Chief Ministers and the Chief Justices of various high courts are sitting together?
Well, as far as the states are concerned, there is a lot of pendency in trial courts, district courts, smaller courts. There are also vacancies which are there of judges. So all these things will be taken into account. The other important aspect is the use of technology, whether under trials should be brought to the court or whether video conferencing facilities should be used. These are also issues which are on the table. While on the other hand, we've seen that there has been a lot of noise about the judges not being there, in the sense that posts being vacant in several high courts. So putting all this together, a comprehensive plan would be chalked out. Also, we've seen from several states, specifically from Uttar Pradesh, there have been a lot of demands as far as new benches of high courts are concerned. So all these things would be certainly discussed in the conference.
Ashar, do stay on with us. And as Ashar was pointing out about the controversy surrounding this conference, let's talk a little bit about that. In fact, on Saturday, Supreme Court Judge Justice Kurian Joseph, who had earlier objected to the Judges' Conference being organized on Good Friday, turned down a dinner invitation by Prime Minister Narendra Modi, saying that he'll be in Kerala for religious ceremonies. While declining Prime Minister Modi's dinner invite, Justice Joseph asked the Prime Minister to show equal importance and respect to sacred days of all religions. He cautioned the Prime Minister, saying that the country needs to safeguard its secular credentials. The apex court judge had earlier written a letter to the CJI as well, objecting to a conference of High Court judges being organized on the Good Friday Easter weekend. Justice Datu, in fact, had defended the dates of the conference, saying that the institutional interests were more important than individual interests. The CJI got support from a former apex court judge, Justice K.T. Thomas, asking why Christians cannot work on Good Friday. Ashar Ahmad Khan is still with us. He'll be taking us through the details of that conference, the third and the final day today, where the Chief Justices of the High Courts as well as the Chief Ministers will sit together and brainstorm over certain issues plaguing the judiciary. Ashar, if you could help us understand the kind of judicial reforms that not just the judiciary and related people, but otherwise the politicians as well have been raising over the past few years, and those that can be taken up today.
Well, what we've been hearing is that the basic issue which is being faced by the common people is the pendency, the long time taken as far as disposal of cases is concerned. And since the government is the biggest litigant in all the courts, it is very important that the government and the judiciary is on the board. Second is allocation of funds for specific courts. There is a tremendous amount of expenditure which is incurred in imparting justice in this country. That also needs to be taken into account. The third important thing is opening of more courts. There needs to be more judges, and what we've been given to understand is that even in the current system there are lots of vacancies which are still lying vacant. So all these things put together, it would be a collective effort between the political establishment and the judiciary to move ahead in the right direction to dispose of as many cases as possible.
Ashar, many thanks for joining us with all those details this morning.